program known as Know Your MCA. I am Priska Motonika. Today we have with us Honorable Bett, also known as Watchman, from Kipchebor Ward. Karibu sana mheshimiwa to the show. Welcome very much.
Thank you.
Okay. So tell us about yourself, your background, education, and even the origin of the name Watchman.
Yeah, thank you, Priska, and thank you for welcoming me to the show. My name is Bett, member of County Assembly representing Kipchebor Ward in Kericho County. I was born in a village called Kimungan in Motobo sub-location, township location. I studied in a school called Kipchebor Primary School and finished my KCP. Thereafter, I joined Kericho High School and finished in 2002. And thereafter, I joined University in Nairobi, that is USIU Nairobi. I did a Bachelor of Commerce in Business Administration with concentration in finance. And thereafter, I worked with ACB shortly before I joined G4S Company Limited, where I worked as a supervisor in charge of security until 2016 when I was the manager of G4S Kericho branch and ran for an MCA seat in 2017. Yeah, that is it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, as the MCA for Kipchebor Ward,
Yep.
the key mandate of MCAs is oversight, legislation, and representation. Can you tell us your part in legislation in the county assembly?
Thank you so much, Priska. One of the reasons, one of the key roles I do as an MCA is legislation. And I've sponsored 3 bills, but I want to highlight one, which is dear to me. The bill is called Kericho County Revenue Allocation Bill of 2020, and this bill sought to share revenue in a formula across the 30 wards in Kericho County because we've been sharing resources in the county equally, which is not right because the demographics of Kericho County are not the same. We have different population and different also geographical size, and also poverty levels are different. And so this bill sought to secure funding for each ward in which the MCA would have a chance to give up the participation and get to know its priorities for the people of the ward is represented. And so this ward, this bill was passed last year and is yet to be operational. But I'm sure once it is operational, we'll be able to get to feel the kind of resources sharing in the county, and each ward will be able to do its objectives, its priorities right based on this bill.
Okay. With regards to representation and oversight, have you sponsored any motion to represent the people of Kipchebor Ward? Tell us.
Yes, I've sponsored a number of motions. You know, motions are questions we ask in the floor of the House to solve the problem because they are faster than the legislation. And I've sponsored many motions, but I want to highlight one which also is a key one. There's one which I sponsored last year, which was concerning the status of cabbage collection in Kericho town, whereby we had lots of cabbage not collected. And so in my motion, I was seeking to compel the Department of Environment to come up with ways on ensuring that town is clean. Kericho town was not the cleanest town before devolution. And so through that motion, I compelled the Department of Environment, the CC, to come up with policies which will ensure change the trend in Kericho town. And I'm happy because I've seen some changes through this motion. Yeah, that's one of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
With regards to oversight, is there any challenge that you have faced in terms of oversight, or the county assembly faces in oversight?
Yeah, we have many challenges. First and foremost is that we do not get to get information from the county executive on the kind of documents required of oversight. Remember, Priska, that to do oversight you must have all the full information in terms of if you are doing oversight of a project. Let's say, for example, a road is being done in your ward, then you must be armed with what we call the scope of works for that work. You must also get the drawings, and you must also be abreast with what is happening so that you're able to know the kind of works being done. So the challenge that we have first is, of course, access that information. The number 2, of course, is basically also the scope. You know, there's separation of powers. Sometimes you try to do oversight and the executive feels like you are micromanaging. So there's a thin line between oversight and micromanaging the executive. So there's been a very thin line because you try to do this and you sometimes get resistance from the executive who may think that you're trying to micromanage what they're doing. So that's been a challenge, but so far I can say we have done above board.
Okay. In terms of committees, do you belong to any committee in the county assembly?
Yes, I am. I belong to committees. I belong to the Committee on Budget and Appropriation. I'm also in the Committee on Finance and Economic Planning. I'm also in the Committee on Implementation, where I'm the chairperson, and also Committee on Cooperative Management, where also I'm a member.
Okay.
Yes.
Particular about implementation, the Committee on Implementation.
Yes.
Kindly elaborate to us as the chair of that committee. What is your role?
The committee's roles, Committee on Implementation, his role is to follow up on committee resolutions in the floor of the House and follow also on the bills that have been enacted by the County Assembly and House resolutions. So this committee is to make sure that whatever the House has passed has been fully implemented. So as a committee chair, and in my committee, we follow on all House resolutions. So in our standing orders, we give the executive 6 months to implement all the House resolutions and the bills. And so this committee is very important because we ensure that whatever the House has passed has been implemented, because you very well noticed that you can pass so many laws, so many resolutions, but if there's no action, it is good as dead. So my committee is critical to the extent that I ensure that the executive really does what has been passed by the House.
Yes.
And we've done fairly. I can say we've done fairly in our committees. Yes.
Yes, just a follow-up on that.
Yes.
You said that sometimes some of the county assembly has passed bills and maybe they have not been implemented. Is that even the mandate of your committee to make sure
Yes.
that the executive?
Yes. Yeah, we make sure that they are implemented. Where they have not implemented, they must give us a reason. And it's for my committee to ensure that why they are not implemented, we find a reason. If it's a budget constraint, then we report back to the Committee on Budget and ask them that this resolution is not implementable because of budget constraint. So we have to close each and every resolution of the House and see why it was not implemented and the reason. It must be well within the mandate of the House.
Recently, about a week ago, you brought to the floor of the county assembly a motion seeking to bring to account executive about the health situation in the county. Kindly elaborate to us about that motion.
Yeah, thank you. Over the last few months, we have had challenges in the health department. There have been no supplies of drugs and supplies in all our hospitals, be it level 3 up to level 5. And so outcry from the people of Kericho. And so as a legislator, we saw that the executive was sleeping on the job. And so the mandate given out to us by the standing orders is that you can raise a motion. And so I sponsored that motion to bring into light, to find ways of mitigating this risk of our people suffering from the hospitals in the hospitals. And so the motion is sought to bring to an end the challenge in the hospital. So we sought the audience of the CEC in charge of health and finance, because there was push and pull of the two CECs on who's supposed to do what. And so the motion was seeking to ensure that the trend in hospitals is changed. And I'm happy to report that last week on Friday we had that discussion with the CECs and the CECs on Friday, and there's a roadmap to change the worrying trend of hospitals in Kericho County. So you see, through that motion, we're able to bring the entire CECs before the committee of the whole House, where all the MCs were able to engage the CECs and giving their own experience from where they come from, because all the MCs were coming from different areas. So an MC will tell you from Cheblanget ward, we have this problem. So that motion was very key, and I can tell residents of Kericho County that in the next few weeks, we hope to see changes as far as matters health is concerned. Yeah.
Honorable Eric Bett, a while back, you can remember there was a committee ad hoc that was formed to look into the senator's petition regarding oversight on certain projects that were incomplete in the county. Tell us more about that report.
Thank you. The ad hoc committee, and I'm happy, Priska, because I was also the chairperson. I don't know why I normally get such kind of titles, but I think because of my good work in the assembly. So being the chair of the committee that was looking into Senator's petition, the petition was looking at the small projects in Kericho County and many other issues, including COVID-19 funds, which were being mismanaged in the county. And so the committee was trying to look for answers of that particular question of the senator. And I can say that we did our work diligently and outstanding orders objectively, and we came out with very serious recommendations for the county to do. And I can say that we were able to do it objectively, and though our recommendations were not were kind of not popular in the county, we dispensed our work and gave the report before the House and the Speaker, and then took action upon them because we were recommending very serious recommendations because we thought the county was not doing managed well as far as toll project is concerned, because these are taxpayers' money that has been used and they have not been able to show something good for the county. Same case with COVID-19 funds. I mean, we received COVID-19 funds, but we could still see that there were issues surrounding management of this pandemic, and that was one of the issues that Senator raised in the petition. And again, there were recommendations concerning that.
Okay, can you tell us some of the recommendations?
Yes, some of the recommendation is that we wanted to hold people accountable who did not do due diligence. For example, as far as the small project in Kipchebor, where there was a project that was done, stalled, the land was not paid for by the county, yet the county built a plant for potatoes. What we did was that we said, whoever recommended for building that house without buying the land must be surcharged. So in this case, there were CCs we recommended, the engineers recommended for surcharging, because that was misuse of public funds. As far as COVID-19 funds, again, we also recommended also that the procurement officers in charge of procurement, who floated the laws on procurement, must be held accountable. And so those recommendations are still with